Are you looking for the perfect year-round body butter? Something that will not melt even in the summertime. Well, I have the best formula for you. This is an emulsified body butter that is thick and moisturizing and a complete copycat to our natural body butter. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the video. Making emulsified products in general, we have to realize that there are different phases, and that goes the same even with this emulsified body butter. And when you're making your emulsified products, you're gonna start off with your water phase. And in your water phase, you're going to have your water, obviously. Then you're gonna have your humectant like glycerin, or you're going to have in niacinamide, your vitamin C. This is going to be all of your water-based products that you want to add in your water phase directly. Then you're going to have your heat phase. Now your heat phase is going to be the phase where you're melting everything down. So this is where you're going to have your butters, you're going to have any oils. This is where you're also going to have any waxes or your emulsifying wax of some sort. This is going to be that phase that you're going to melt everything down together so that it's just all one liquid oil and butter combination. Then you're going to have your cool down phase. Now your cool down phase is exactly what it sounds like. This is where everything is cooled down and you can safely add in your vitamin E, your preservative, and your fragrances. This is also where you're going to add in your mica if you're going to be using any colorant. This is going to be the perfect time to add that in as well. Now when it comes to adding in your preservative and like your fragrances, a lot of times the cool down phase is going to be the best time because you don't want to add your preservative in when it's too hot, because then obviously you're going to kill the preservative and it's not going to do the job that you need it to do, which is to preserve your product. Duh. Now when it comes to making your products, a lot of times the phases is what really gets confusing, but let me know down below what is the hardest part about making emulsified products if you've tried making them already. Definitely share that down below. Okay, so now for the fun part of putting everything together and really starting this process. Now to start off, we're going to be in our water phase, okay? So with this water phase, we're going to start off with distilled water, and you want to make sure that you're using distilled water because that's going to be safe and clean for making your skincare products. And we're going to be using distilled water at 55%. Now, I know you're like,
55% seems kind of low.
which it is, but you are making a body butter-like product. So you want it to be as thick as possible, and having less water is going to allow it to be thicker, along with the other ingredients that you're going to be using. But the water content, the amount of water really does make a difference as well. Now, if you don't want to just use distilled water, you can also use aloe water here, or if you're wanting to use rose water for the fragrance and the benefits of rose water. Anything that is going to be water-based, you can definitely use in replacement of distilled water if you don't want it to just be distilled water. Then you're going to be using glycerin. Now, glycerin is going to draw in moisture from the air into your skin. This is a really great ingredient to use to really help draw in more moisture and really add in more of a hydrating aspect to this formula. And we're going to be using this at 2.5%. Now, when it comes to glycerin, it can be a very sticky product, and so making it really sticky, and it can really change the texture of your formula. Even using it just at 3%, sometimes that can be too much. You can really feel that stickiness, and that's something that I really noticed when using it at too high of a percentage. So 2.5%, sometimes even like 1.5 or just 2% can be a really great amount to use for glycerin. Now, if you don't have glycerin, or if you can't find glycerin, a really good alternative is going to be sodium lactate. Now, this is going to be a thinner, less sticky of a product. You can also get this in powdered form, and you would just mix this in with your water at this stage. So lastly, for the water phase, we're going to be adding in xanthan gum. Now this is going to be a gum consistency. It's going to be more of like a gel-like consistency, and this is really here to help stabilize the product and just make it a lot easier to use. Now with xanthan gum, you're going to be using this at 0.5%. You don't need a lot of it here. Using too much can make it a really gummy product, and you don't want it to necessarily be gummy and for you to feel like that stickiness and the drag on your skin. You really just want it, again, to stabilize the product and give a little bit more hydration and more texture to your body butter. Now, when you are putting this all together, you want to add the xanthan gum to your glycerin or sodium lactate first. And you're going to mix that all together, and then you're going to pour in your water, and we're just going to set that aside. Now that we have our water phase settled, now we're going to go into the heat phase. So with your heat phase, you're going to have in all of your oils and your butters. And we're going to start off here with our shea butter. Shea butter is going to be used at 20% of the overall formula. I'm really using this at 20% again to bring in a lot more thickness. It's going to help make the product more thick, make it more body butter-like. So you're going to be using more of a higher percentage at 20%. Then we're going to be using an stearic acid. Now, stearic acid is going to help bring in some more thickness into this product. We're only going to be using this in at 3%, but it helps to bring in some more butter-like consistency, more butter-like feel without adding in more butter and more oil here. So your stearic acid is going to just be really important to help stabilize your product, but also to just also to bring in some more thickness here. Now for the actual emulsifying aspect of this formula. For this, we're going to be using glycerol stearate SE. With glycerol stearate SE, this is going to be glycerin and stearic acid mixed together with a small amount of sodium stearate. Now, this is going to be the emulsifying agent within this product. Really good alternative to glycerol stearate SE is going to be your emulsifying wax or Propola wax. These are going to be really great alternatives to your glycerol stearate SE. Now, let's not confuse glycerol stearate SE with glycerol stearate and PEG stearate. This is going to be two separate products, and with the glycerol stearate PEG stearate, this is going to not have the thickness that you're going to need for this product, and it's not going to emulsify it properly. So you're going to need to make sure that you are paying attention to which one you're buying, because they are going to be two separate products. Now, when it comes to glycerol stearate SE, this is going to need a type of gum or gel to stabilize this emulsifying wax. So you're going to need like a xanthan gum in this formula. So that's why we're going to also have xanthan gum in the water phase of this formula. And glycerol stearate SE is going to be in at 4% of this formula. Now, we're also going to have in cetyl alcohol. Now, with cetyl alcohol, this also brings in more thickness. This is going to also help to stabilize the product, and it also adds in more emulsion to this product. This is going to really help bring in more moisture, really help to give this product a lot more moisturization and hydration for your body butter. And again, you're getting even more thickness with this ingredient as well. We're only going to be using cetyl alcohol at 2% of this overall formula. For our last ingredient in the heat phase, and this is going to be coconut oil. Now, I'm going to be using unrefined coconut oil here. You can use refined coconut oil if you would prefer, but I like to use the unrefined just because it's going to be solid at room temperature, and it's going to allow to bring in a little bit more thickness as well. So again, use the refined coconut oil, or you can use, for example, sunflower oil or sweet almond oil here. Any of those oils of your carrier oils is going to work. And we're going to be using this at 8% of the overall formula. Once you have everything measured out, you're going to put it all in one heat-safe bowl. Now that we have our heat phase and our water phase all set together, we're going to put this on a double boiler. Now, you want to allow for everything to melt in your heat phase, and you're also going to allow your water phase to heat up as well at the same time. Now, one really good tip is to put foil over the heat phase so that you're not losing any water in this process. And you're going to allow everything to heat. So once everything has melted from your heat phase, you can take everything off. Now this is where the fun begins of making this product. Now you're going to pour in your water phase into the oil phase. Now when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you are stirring this up immediately as you're pouring it in. Now the reason why I pour the water into the heat is because you have a better chance of getting all of your product in the water phase into the heat phase. It's a little bit harder, I find, to get all of your ingredients into your water phase that way, because you may lose some of your product while you are pouring it into the water. So you just want to make sure that you're doing it the opposite way so that you're getting all of your ingredients and you're getting the most out of everything that you are using in this formula. So as you're pouring it in and you are mixing everything, you're going to notice that it's already starting to emulsify. And then you're gonna leave that to the side and you're gonna get your immersion blender. Now, the immersion blender is really important here because it's going to emulsify all of the water and oils together. I'm gonna put this inside of the container and you're going to pulse, and as you're pulsing it, you're going to see the emulsion start to come together. You're gonna see that the product actually starts to thicken pretty quickly because we have a lot of thickening agents here. We have a lot of butters, and you have your glycerol stearate SE and your cetyl alcohol. All of this together is really thickening this product. You're going to see it really thicken up right away. And then you're going to remove that and just hand mix it yourself. And you're just going to let it mix and mix together. And you're going to notice that the mixture is still fairly warm. So you want to leave that to the side. Wait for it to cool down. You want this to be under 100 degrees Fahrenheit. For this to be a safe temperature to add in your cool down phase. So now that we have everything mixed together, we're going to move into our cool down phase. Now, this is where we're going to be adding in our preservative and our fragrance if you're choosing to add in fragrance at this point. Now with the preservative, I'm going to be using Preservative Eco, and I'm only using this in at 1% of the overall formula. 1% is usually a pretty good percentage to add in your preservative. A lot of times I do see some preservatives that only need 0.5%. So depending on what you're using, it can be 0.5% or just 1% that is needed, but it's usually never more than that. Now y'all, check out this texture. The texture of this body butter is everything. Now I know it's not body butter traditionally, I know it's an emulsified product, but it really looks and feels like the real thing. And I really love the way that it feels. I love the thickness of it. I think it's a really versatile formula. You can really change it to really fit what you are looking for your brand. And I really think it's a really great place to start if you're looking for an emulsified product to add and use that as your body butter. Because I know a lot of times when it comes to making body butter, the biggest issue is you need a body butter that's not going to melt, because a lot of times in the summertime when you're shipping it out, you get melty products and it's melting in transit, and you really just don't want or need that for your business. So this is a really great alternative to also have year round. Now if you are looking to make more emulsified products and you're looking for a more cream or lotion, then watch this video here where I share with you step by step how to make a body cream, and I'll catch you in the next one.